Digital transformation is one of those buzzwords that gets thrown around a lot. But let's be real. When leadership asks about ROI, they don't just want a fancy dashboard, they want results. And here's the thing, ROI isn't just about dollars in versus dollars out. If you're only measuring return on investment in financial terms, you might be missing the bigger picture. And that could mean wasted time, frustrated teams, and technology that looks great on paper but doesn't actually move the needle. So let's break it down. How do you measure ROI the right way? And how do you ensure digital transformation actually delivers value and is not just another system that people ignore or use as a part of their own system for other things? I call this the wrong way to think about ROI. Follow me here for a second. Money spent versus money returned. It's not always that simple. The system might not immediately increase revenue, but what if it reduces errors or speeds up decision making or improves customer experience so much that churn drops? The second is ignoring the hidden costs of business as usual. The biggest mistake is thinking staying the same is free. It's actually not free. In fact, if inefficiencies are very likely costing you millions, fixing them, yes, even at a cost, has a massive ROI. How do you know if they're costing you millions? Your team will have manual workarounds, using shadowites, using outdated software, or software you've just outgrown, but they're making it work, sort of. It all adds up. Let me give you an example. This is a real story from one of our clients, so I'm changing some of the details. This company's leadership refused to upgrade their outdated, homegrown order processing system. Now, homegrown in this case is actually built on top of Excel, and a software provider sells it to other companies in that sort of same industry, but it's not what I would define as your standard SaaS. It's really old and antiquated, on-prem deployment, very little customization, all the things that come along with a traditional SaaS product. Anyway, change is really scary. I get it, but we're talking about the cost of doing nothing. The result: inconsistent delays, expired inventory, shrinkage, frustrated customers, and lost inventory. The cost of transformation seemed high and maybe even scary. That's also a part of the pushback, but the cost of not changing is even higher. Okay, next is assuming technology alone will equal ROI. You can have the best tools in the world, but if your people aren't using them properly, what's the point? Remember, no adoption equals no ROI. Does it make sense? I hope so. All right, now let's run through what I call the right way to measure. The first is time saved equals time earned. How much time does your team waste on manual work? You may be surprised to uncover how much manual workarounds cost you. Automating processes can free up hours, and in some cases weeks, and sometimes even entire roles for more valuable work. The second is risk reduction and compliance. Something I think we don't talk about enough, but as of the last few years, organizations are taking this more seriously and now have a better understanding of how sophisticated cyber criminals are and all of the different ways that they can breach your systems. So what's the cost of a cybersecurity breach? Over the last few years, we've seen newsworthy data breaches, notably Capital One's data breach in 2019, Chick-fil-A's mobile app data breach in early 2023, and AT&T's data breach affecting millions of customers, and I think that was last year, I'm not sure, last year or the year before, and Fidelity Investment life insurance. We also need to consider what's the cost of a regulatory fine. Now, for some, it may be less expensive to pay the fine than it is to make this a top priority over other priorities, which you may have gotten away with over the last 10 years or so, but things are different now. Keep in mind, some digital investments don't make money, but they do prevent catastrophic losses. All right, the third is employee and customer experience equals real business impact. Better systems make life easier for your teams, your customers, less frustration, higher retention, and smoother operations. That's ROI. The fourth is the competitive advantage and the agility of it, the ability to adapt quickly to market changes. Frankly, this one is priceless in my opinion. Companies that can pivot fast always stay ahead. Let me explain what I mean. A company that digitized supply chain tracking before a major disruption, had real-time visibility, their competitors are scrambling in the dark. True story. Now, I want to share how to ensure a high ROI on your digital transformation initiatives. The first is start with the problem, not the technology. Too many businesses buy software first and then figure out what to do with it. Flip that. Identify bottlenecks first, then choose technology that solves them. The second is get buy in from the right people. Transformation isn't just an IT project, it's a business initiative. If leadership and the end users aren't involved from day one, adoption will very likely fail. And the very last thing is measure success in stages, not just at the end. If you wait until the project is done to measure ROI, you've waited too long. Track improvements as you go, efficiency gains, adoption rates, and error reductions. ROI isn't just a number, it's a strategy. The best digital transformations aren't just about cutting costs or increasing revenue. Those are great, but measuring ROI is about making your business smarter, more resilient, and future proof.